Everyone, welcome to a special live with HandiQuilter and ShannonFabrics. I'm Kim Sandberg, the Education Manager at HandiQuilter, and today I have with me...
My name is Lisa Lueck. I'm a Cuddle Ambassador with ShannonFabrics, and I am super excited to be here with you today because we have a really fun project making zipper bags.
We do. I'm so excited to talk through how to make these really cute zipper bags, and be sure to stick around. We're actually going to be doing two projects during this live, zipper bags, and then we have a football project for later on. I think that's enough of a tease. What do you think?
I think so.
So let's go ahead and get started. I am really excited to talk about using ShannonFabrics on the long arm, because I know a lot of quilters are a little bit scared. So Lisa, walk us through. Yeah. Let's just start at the top.
So today we're going to be working with our newest fabric, which is now hitting stores. It is our Quilting Cuddle, and it has a lower nap, a 1.5 millimeter nap, and super durable. Works great for any project.
Yeah.
But today I wanted to showcase the vibrant colors of we have different collections. Mm-hmm. Wanderlust is the one that we have on the long arm. And it's just so exciting to work with these fabrics. And I thought, sometimes for me, when I tell people I quilt, they're like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Quilt blankets. But it's not about blankets. It's about using your wonderful machine to make different projects. So today we're going to make zipper bags. Mm-hmm. And if you have people, friends that are close to you that don't know exactly what quilting is, they just think of blankets, this is a perfect gift to give them. And then they can see the quilting on it, and they can feel the fabric, and it's just super exciting.
It really is. So should we start with talking about what we've got set up here on the frame?
Sure.
Okay.
So today we have our silky satin solids for the backing or the lining,
which we've got a piece right here that's quilted that we can show. So silky solid, and you're using this as the backing and then also the lining of the bags, right?
Right.
Yep. Okay.
So we have that set up. I have made several different bags, and I prefer soft and stable in my stabilizer for the quilting. It just adds structure to the project. And if you're doing a project that stands up, it holds its shape. And these all made it through my suitcase. So
exactly. You did bring a really big suitcase here full of stuff.
Yeah, I did.
So that everybody understands, you're using the soft and stable in place of traditional batting, right?
Right.
And soft and stable is like a foam. So we have it loaded here, and we can actually pull this back so you can kind of see some of it. You can see that, just like you mentioned, it's a little bit stiff. But you can absolutely quilt with it on the long arm or on a domestic machine really easily. And it is fantastic for projects like this because it gives them body and structure.
Right. So today we have a Wanderlust piece in blue that we are going to quilt on a little bit later. But would you want to do the step outs first?
Why do
you want to quilt first?
Let's do some quilting first, so everybody can see how easy this is to work with. So like you mentioned, this is the new Quilting Cuddle, and it's thinner. It's got like a thinner hand, I think is the easiest way for me to describe it. It's not as thick. And so it's just maybe a little bit easier to work with. So how about if we base this down first? We can just show everybody that, and then we're going to just do some free motion quilting.
Okay.
Because really the idea behind making these bags is you quilt the fabric first on your long arm, and then you take it off and you cut it and then assemble it on your domestic machine. So we're gonna do just a little bit of quilting here first. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the machine over here and go ahead and give us some tips on how to use this.
So this is really a scrap buster. So use your scraps.
Yep.
And sew them together or baste them together and just have at it. We have 60-inch wide silky satin on the backing. So you have 60 inches.
That's a lot of space
use for your projects, and just quilt it up and cut it later. So
absolutely,
we're gonna do some free motion. I usually like to make the design a little more dense so that you can see it in the project.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it works great. And the Quilting Cuddle is great for bags. It's great for garments. It's great for quilts. It's thin enough that you can piece with it.
Yeah.
I love piecing with it. The points line up. The seams are great.
Yeah, it's not, you don't have as thick of a seam as if you're using like the traditional, I think, like cuddle that most people think of. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So this, like I said, Quilting Cuddle has a 1.5 millimeter nap. And then we have C3, which is Cuddle 3. It refers to the 3 millimeter nap. And we also have Luxe Cuddle, which start at a 10 millimeter pile and goes on up to 20 and 40. So
Yeah.
this Quilting Cuddle is a new beast. It's awesome. It's in stores now. So there's different collections, and each year we'll come out with different collections, and it's just so exciting.
It is. It is. And I love the prints on this. I think that that's really fun. I know that when I traditionally think of quilting with cuddle, it's a solid, like some of the solids here in the background, which is fun because it really shows the quilting. But I love, especially for the bags, having these prints. So we just wanted, you just want me to quilt this? Here's the question. Do you want to quilt? You want me to quilt? We'll just do some free motion here.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, you go ahead and do that. I've got the machine set up. We are using Superior Threads So Fine thread in the top, and then we're using Bottom Line in the bottom because we always get that question, people asking what thread we're using. And we have a sharp needle on here, and we're just going to go ahead and do some quilting. So go right ahead. If you just hit this button right here, we'll start quilting, and you can just go ahead and roll with it. So just turn the machine on and go for it.
Okay, I would have to say I'm not the best at free motion.
That's okay.
I love the computer, but free motion is a perfect way to make it your own.
Yeah, it is. And one of the things that's fun is you can do this on a long arm. You could do this on a domestic machine. You could do this on a stationary machine, meaning a long arm that is in a table that you sit and you're the one that moves the fabric. So you can quilt this with any of the ways that you traditionally quilt. And a tip with this, so if you're quilting on your long arm, you definitely want to baste it first. If you're quilting on a domestic machine, using spray basting is a great way to put all those layers together before you start quilting so that things don't move around.
Yeah, we like to use Odif's 505 spray. It works really great.
It does.
It adheres it, and are ready to go.
It is. It is. So one of the things that I'm really noticing here is we can kind of take a look at this. With the pattern, we don't see the quilting as much on this side, do we?
Right.
But we are definitely really going to see that pattern, the quilting design on the other side with the quilting satin. It really shows up. So this is one of those things you can just do something quick and easy. Like you're just doing a meander there with loops in it. Piece of cake, really easy.
And it's not necessarily, you can't see it. It's a tactile thing.
Yes.
So you've got the softness of the cuddle, but you also have that feeling that just is
the texture of the quilting.
So inviting.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I really love the quilting on the Soft and Stable. It has a really cool loft to it, meaning you like the stitches are clearly defined. You can really see that design when you get it at certain angles. Just know that when you're quilting on something that has a lot of pattern in it, you're not going to see the quilting quite as much. It's still there. And one of the things I really love too, which we didn't mention, when you're quilting on cuddle, it doesn't matter what color thread you use, right?
Right.
Because it hides it in the nap.
It stays in.
So it's you can use up that weird cone of thread that somebody gave you that is good thread. You just want to use it up.
You can also just do line or grid.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Whatever works for you.
Exactly.
Just use the quilting cuddle.
Exactly. Okay, so I think we've got some good tips here on quilting with this. Are we ready to move on to talking about making the bags, doing the step outs here? So let me go ahead. I'm just going to cut my thread here really quick, and we'll move the machine out of the way because the next steps.
So I wanted to make sure that when I quilt the cuddle, that I have enough so I can decide later what bag I want to make.
Oh,
so
I like that.
If I have the Soft and Stable that we already both love, I can do the clam up bags by Annie, or I can do these little zipper bags, or, you know, the opportunities are endless. So I just love it.
They are really fun. So you've got some step outs here, and these are ones that you did using, I think something you haven't mentioned yet. It's using a template, right? Is this one using the template, the one you have here?
So
should I grab that?
yes.
Okay.
I love different, fun, easy ways to cut out.
Okay.
So these are templates from Martelli.
Yeah.
And you just open them up.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can lay them right on the fabric once it's quilted.
We'll grab this one here because I think this is the right size for this one.
And it's got a non-slick surface. So you just lay it on there on your cutting board. And then you use your rotary cutter and cut it out.
Nice.
So it's perfect every time.
And I love how you mentioned earlier, you know, using the scrap. So I know that, especially because all of the cuddle is 60 inches wide. Well, the quilting cuddle isn't, but the other stuff. I feel like I always have these weird leftover pieces, right? And so using them to make these bags is perfect.
It's a scrap buster.
Yeah, it's a scrap buster. So good.
And it's called a Lella template.
Yeah.
And we'll have a link on below.
Yeah.
And there's 4 different sizes.
Nice.
And it's just great. You can do them all together. And I will show you ones that I box later.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and do the step outs.
So here's the first step. So explain to us what's going on there.
So this one is cut out. I use that template. I cut it out. So I'm going to lay it, and I'm going to do the first side. But do you want a hang tab for that?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do a little hang tab. So you're going to take a little piece of the cuddle there, and then you're going to create, we can lay these here so you can see kind of.
So I'm going to make a
go from this
hang tab. I'm going to sew the right sides together and turn it inside out. And then I just do a top stitch on either side.
And what's your tip? Okay, I want to be sure and tell people this. So what's your tip when you're sewing with cuddle on a domestic machine to use a what?
You need to use a 9014 stretch needle.
Okay.
Increase your stitch length to 3.5 or 3.0 or 3.5. And you also want to use a walking foot.
Yes.
So that's very important. You want to have the tools set up so that you have success from the start.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, we don't want you to be frustrated.
Yeah.
And I might just mention we have a group called I Love Cuddle Fabric on Facebook that you can actually join. And if you have any questions, you can ask them there as well.
Okay. Awesome. That's a great place to find help.
So when you want fold this over, you want the point going towards the right.
Okay.
So you fold it over. Like you want to fold it over
right here.
with a little. So you're going to make a 1/4 inch seam. So you want to fold it over so that it matches at that 1/4 inch.
Cool.
And you can clip it, and then don't forget to put your hang tab in.
Add that in there. I love that.
So once you sew it, then you've got it set up so that it looks like this. Okay, it did shrink in size a little bit. You can actually do a zigzag. You can serge it. You can do a binding on it. It's totally up to you. Yeah, let's show the binding.
Yeah.
So that one I put the binding on. So I sew on one side and flip it over to the other side. And it just is a nice finish.
It is. It seals the seam. And then you have your little, I love this so we can show everybody. When you flip it over, you have that little hang tab right there, which what a fun detail to add to a bag so that you can like, and, you know, especially when this small, look at this, like a little coin purse that you can clip in your bag and hold on to. Very cool. Okay. So then the next step is to do what?
We're going to add the zipper.
Okay.
So once you have that done, and this one's not quite as finished as nice. This is, I get the zippers by the yard, and I only use one side of the zipper. So I sew it at the top. The seam I just created makes a longer run. I sew it across there, and then I turn it, and I add a top stitch.
Okay. So you sew it essentially right sides together, and then you're flipping it back and top stitching it. And then that helps stabilize that zipper too. You have that extra seam in there, right?
Yep.
And I love, so this is all just one piece of like that zipper by the yard. You cut it to the size you want, and then you sew that in there. That's really cool.
Yeah, so this was a little long because it's
okay.
left over from the last
Yeah,
one. So,
yeah. And then the next step is to do what?
so what you want to do is you want to add the zipper pull.
Oh, and you just pulled that off. Ah.
Yeah.
But
To
this
everybody's
is,
dismay, I pulled the zipper pull off.
I know, but this is part of the
Front knot,
process.
you can add it real easily by putting it, the top of the zipper tape goes to that little indentation.
Okay.
And then three hands would be great. But
Yeah.
so I put in the other side of the zipper and then I push down and it seeds it in there
Oh, look at that. How easy.
and you're set.
But I love that because then you can have exactly the amount of zipper you need. And that zipper by the yard, it's an economical way to buy zippers.
It is. And it comes with the zipper pulls. You don't have to find zipper pulls. And then I turn it inside out.
Okay.
And when I have it inside out, I'm glad to know that this one I put binding on for you, so it's nice and finished. So I lay this side flat because that's where my seam is. And then on this side, I let it hang where it lines up. So see, that side doesn't hang up?
Yep.
Line up. So I move it because it's a diagonal zipper.
Gotcha.
I want to make sure those lines are together.
Okay. That's where you get that little bit of a twist with the parallelogram that you start with, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that the right? Yeah. I think it's the right geometry term.
It's a parallelogram. And then you shortened it to Lela. So that's the name of the template.
Oh, I love how people do that. That's so great.
Yes.
And so here's your last step there then. So this is
Super
the
easy.
bag inside out. You've got that seam on the side.
So we just stitch it up, and then you're going to add your binding just like you did on this side, and then turn it inside out, and you're all set. You got a
Look at that.
cute little gift for somebody.
I love that. And what a fun scrap buster. There are so many cool things you can do. So now I want to do a little bit of a tour. So on the shelves behind us here, you have got all different kinds of bags that you've made. Let's take a closer look at some of these because I know in some of these you were showing me it's the same like template or design that you started with. So start with quilting your fabric first,
Right.
using your the fabulous satin, the cuddle on the top, quilting it with the soft and stable in the middle, cutting it out to the size. And then let's look at some of the options because this is, like you said, scrap buster. Load your frame with a 60-inch wide, quilt out all your scraps, and then you could just spend an afternoon doing this, make all these bags, and you have like Christmas done, right? Holiday
Absolutely
presents
right. And
done.
you don't have to make them right then.
Yeah.
But knowing that they're ready for you to make bags is perfect. So
Yeah, let's take a look here. Some of the different bags that you made. So hand me any that you want me to hold on to here.
So this is a Claim Up bag by Annie. So this was my first bag. And because I made this one, I knew that I wanted the soft and stable. So this is what got me to making the soft and stable.
Love that.
Normally on zipper pouches, you wouldn't normally think of soft and
Yeah.
stable, but it works so nice.
It does.
And this is our collection called Meet Me in the Garden. And these two sizes actually are the same size.
These two are?
Yeah.
They look different though.
They
so
are different.
explain the difference
So
here.
on the bottom of this one, instead of making it flat, I boxed the corners.
Oh, okay.
So I took a 1.5, 2 inches and boxed a corner. And it just sets up. It looks beautiful. It's a different.
Open that up so that we can see the inside so you can understand. We can actually show, because this is the same pouch without the box corners. And we can show you the difference between the two. So if you're not familiar with box corners, you can understand what the difference is. So you can see this one here, we left that corner nice and straight. And then on this one, you boxed the corner, which means you did what?
So when I lay this flat, I will mark a line like 1.5 from the stitching line into the fold. So I'll mark a box 1.5 inches and I will cut it out. And once I cut it out, then I sew it together, folding it together
Like this.
like this.
We'll see here. So I'm holding it like this. So you're essentially doing a seam across here.
Yeah, so
And you can see the
When you're
finish
done?
seam there.
it looks like that.
Exactly. And I look
And
at
I
you
boxed-
on that. You're so good.
Our box corners. This one is actually with one of the solids. I think it's called corsage
Oh, yeah.
on the inside. So this one has cuddle
on the inside.
Quilting Cuddle on the inside.
So you can do the quilting cuddle. Yeah, you can do whatever kind of fabric you want, but yeah, the quilting cuddle on the inside, that's really fun. So I love that how simple it is to take something that looks like this. You could make half of them like this and you could do half of them like that. And it looks like you've done different types of pouches, but they're actually the same ones. There's just one extra little thing you pop in there. Yeah, that's so great.
And the template works great, but you can make the size any size you want.
Yeah.
This one is not using the template, and I just decided to put the zipper
From side to side.
Yeah, right. Kind of in the middle.
I love it. I love it. So, and then there's, I know the other one that I really wanted to show everybody were these two, because these are the two that I think is so interesting, because once again, you started with the same piece, the same size of fabric.
The same size rectangle.
And it just depended on how you constructed the bag.
Yeah,
So let's set this over here.
I fold it one way, or I fold it the long way. The short way or the long way. So this obviously is
hamburger or hot dog,
right,
as they say. I love it.
So this is a long way.
Okay.
And I box these corners as well.
Okay.
So dramatic difference.
It is. It is. But I love the fact that you use the same piece, the same size of fabric, and you got two. So I look at it as kind of like double your fun, because it's you know, you cut everything one shape and you can end up with a lot of variety.
It's so versatile.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
Quilting Cuddle is very versatile.
These are so fun.
So
all right. Any other tips? I'm gonna set those up there. Any other tips on the bags? On the bags of the small pouches? I mean, you guys can see here, you can definitely go all out. Should I try to hold on?
Yeah, I have had a blast making these. Just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have a template. You don't have to have a pattern. Just make one up.
Yeah.
If I'm okay to say that.
Yeah.
I know
yeah,
some people
totally.
don't like making up patterns.
Yeah.
But it's a rectangle. So
yeah,
make your rectangle and make a bag.
Have some fun with it. I absolutely love those. So, okay. Well, I think we're ready to move on to our next project.
Yes.
Remember, the keyword here is football. So hang tight for a second. We're going to switch out a couple of things and reload for another project, but we'll be right back. All right, I think we're ready to fill everybody in on the secret. We're ready to talk football. So should we show them?
Yep, the big reveal.
This is what we're making. This is two different versions of the same thing. So this is so awesome. So tell us about this project, Lisa. This was when you showed this to me, I was like, wow, I love this.
So I'm a football fan, and I found this table runner pattern from Sweet Dreams Quilt Studio, and I had to make it up. And I had people say, "But you're using eagle colors." It's not eagle colors. It's a football. It's a turf field.
It's a turf with the dirt around the edge or the whatever, right?
So I made it, and I put green on the back.
Love it.
And after I thought about it, I'm like, okay, you have to really kind of look at it to know that this is the back. So I started putting brown on the back.
Oh, okay.
So it really looks like the dirt.
Which is what we have loaded here on the frame. We've got the black, we've got the brown, and this is C3, right?
It is C3.
C3, and then we're using the soft and stable again, and then we have the green on the top. And you know what? I love this, using it for sports themed. I have to tell you, I just made a golf theme quilt for my nephew who graduated from high school. And this is what I used on the back, because I quilted it with a golf design. And he's like, it's green like a golf course. I'm like, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, love it. I think it's great for that.
Yeah. So I thought, what else can I do other than a table runner? Well, I can make a bag.
I know. I love this. So look at this.
I basically would put the two sides together. And
you can see the seam here in the back, the middle of the back, right?
Yeah, I had two that I put the seam in the back and the 50-yard line in the front and center.
Love it.
And then the other one, I had the goals together
on the side.
Yeah, so it's not quite, it's showy, and I really love it, but I really like the centerpiece of the football.
Like
in the center, so.
Yeah. I think that's really fun.
So
how cool.
Yeah. And the table runner, I used Quilter's Dream batting, Poly Request. It's the thinnest loft that we have because Cuddle is a polyester. I matched that with the batting.
That's smart.
But just like I said, the bags have soft and stable to give them more structure.
Yeah, so that they stand up and look super cute.
Yeah.
I love these. My son played football for a lot of years, and man, I wish I would have had something like this.
I know.
I'm just going to say this. It's okay. So this table runner, I was looking at this and going, how cool would this be to take just to lay on your seat when you're sitting in the stadium, so you don't have that cold bum.
Yeah.
Like just to have something soft to sit on. I think that this would be really cool. So that's another fun way. But I love how you thought outside the box and you took this awesome design and turned it into
two
a bag.
projects.
I know. I love it. I love it.
So let's talk a little bit about how we load Cuddle. So I have 2 samples of green there, and one has the selvage at the top.
Okay. So
a lot of people want to quilt with the selvage at the top. They want to pin it to the take-up bar. And I would say don't do that, because what happens when you roll the quilt up and down, you want to...
Yeah, I'll hold this side and you hold that side.
When you do that, it stretches. That's
Look at that.
direction of the stretch. It stretches the width of the fabric. So when you do that, it curls up. And it will always stay like that.
Exactly.
So what you want to do is load it with the cut edge up here, and the selvage is on the side. So when you pull it, it comes back.
You see that? So you can see here the way that we have this loaded. I actually have the clamps here on the selvage edge.
Right.
Because we basted this to the leaders so that we could quickly and easily load during filming. But you can see here that I don't have any stretch going on.
Yeah, you want to make sure
that
you use the side clamps, but not pull them too tight. You don't want to stretch the fabric.
Exactly. But that's important. So remember, the selvage, if at all possible, should be loaded to the sides, and you want to load to your leaders on the cut edge.
Right.
So I think that's a great tip, so that you won't end up with a warped quilt.
Yeah, because if you roll it too many times, it is going to stretch.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have a tendency to
Over tighten
the belly bar. So
we all do it. We all do it, because you want things to be nice and flat when you start quilting, and when the fabric already has a little bit of stretch in it, we have kind of that tendency. So this is kind of like a little bit of like some good guidelines to help you get the best results.
Right.
Quilting with. Yeah, absolutely.
So we have a design loaded.
Yeah.
With, Sweet Dreams football table runner. So it's...
Let's take a look at the Pro Stitcher screen, and I'll show you guys how to open this up. So we went to the Sweet Dreams website, and we are super lucky. She has actually made this available for us. We will be sure and put the link in the comments where you can go and get this design. So it is really cool. But what we did was we've purchased it, downloaded it at our computer. I unzipped the file. I saved the appropriate format for a Pro Stitcher, which is HQF. And I saved it on a USB, and I've got this here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Pro Stitcher screen, and I'll walk you through. So we're going to choose the File tab here, and then Design and Open. And then we need to collapse the C drive and go to the D drive, because that is where my football table runner is. And you can see that it's right there. So I will select it and open it up, and then there is the design right there on my screen. And the awesome thing is I can take a look at this, and I can go ahead and set it up so that it will stitch out in one throat space on my frame here. Yeah. Just to note, I'm quilting on an Amara 20. And if we look over here at the height of this design, you guys can see that height is 18 inches. I will not be able to quilt that out in one pass. So I just want to show you guys really quickly how to resize this so that you'd be able to quilt it out. So,
and you could tell the bags that I had were both different sizes.
Yeah.
So you can adjust it.
Exactly, which is one of the nice things. So we have the design selected. I'm going to go to the Modify tab on the Pro Stitcher screen. We're going to choose Resize, and then this is really important. I'm going to choose that Lock button. This locks the aspect, so when we go to adjust the size of this, the football stays the shape it's supposed to be. Everything stays the shape it's supposed to be, but we want to adjust the height. And I am, just to be on the safe side, we're going to quilt this. We're going to adjust it to 12 inches tall. That way I know for sure that I can quilt it out in this space. Then what I would do is just go ahead and use Reposition and do top left there and have this positioned. And then just to be sure, I can set up an area to make sure that this is going to fit in my throat space, which is really important. So I'm moving this down here, and we'll hit 2 corner on the other side. And you can see there, that pink box is the amount of quilting space I have. So I actually could, if we look over here in my area on the screen, you can see that my area is 14.5 inches tall. So I could go back into my resize, and on the height, I could make this bigger. Maybe we could just go up to like 14. So I know that I can quilt that space here. We'll use a line and we will center that. And you can see that that is completely within that pink box, which means I'll be able to quilt it out, no problems here. I don't have to worry about running into my poles or anything. But how easy is that?
I know. And you'll have a bigger bag.
Exactly.
More snacks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can take a bigger blanket with me. I was actually thinking how cool a bag like that to take to the football games.
Right.
Number one, take the extra table runner you make to sit on.
Yeah.
And then you could have your, you could have an extra blanket in there. You can have your snacks.
Yeah.
You can have your book
Everything
or
in
your
it.
Kindle. Or if it's me at I know my son's football games, I would always take like handwork, like knitting or something like that to sit and work on when he wasn't on the field, because,
Yeah.
who cares?
And
when he's not on the field.
everybody's going to ask you where you got it from.
Exactly.
Because it's a very unique project.
It is. It is. And I'm sitting here going, I know exactly what would have happened with me, with the other team moms. They would have been like,
I want one.
I want one. I'm like, oh, a little business going here on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be $50 a piece. No.
Yeah.
It would definitely be really fun though. Maybe even as like a gift for the coaches. Like, how much fun would that be?
You always need something for the coaches, right?
Exactly.
And it's always hard to find guy gifts, especially they're quilted.
Yeah.
So this works perfect.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah, you could do some really fun stuff with this. So we quilt this out, and then I know you've got some stuff here to talk about, like step outs with this.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at some of the steps along the way. You want me to grab this stuff over here?
Yeah, that'd be
We'll
great.
bring these over, and you tell me, is this the top of the pile? Yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just set stuff here, and we'll go through and kind of talk about the steps of finishing this as a table runner, and then also some tips on doing it with a bag. So here's one that's been quilted out and trimmed.
Yeah, and they're soft and stable because I was going to use this as a bag.
Okay.
So I will make sure, and I started using brown or chocolate color for the backing so that I could tell that I wasn't looking in the mirror.
So that you don't accidentally like sew it together wrong side out
With the mirror
something
image.
I would do.
Yeah. So here's my right sides together because you can see the 10-yard line. And then I'm going to sew the right sides together.
Okay.
And on the bag, I actually box the corner too.
Oh, okay.
So this is a 2-inch box so that you can, the snacks put better in it.
Exactly.
It's all about the snacks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I sew this side first together, and then I put binding on it because I want it to look nice and neat inside.
Yeah. On the inside.
And then I bind the bottom, and then I make a 2-inch box. So that's drawn on this side. I haven't drawn it on this side.
So that's a 2-inch square that you drew there, and you would cut that out and then sew
Right.
the 1/4 inch away, right? And that creates that box. Actually,
Right.
not.
So
You
you
fold
want
it
to
together
sew
and
the
go.
bottom first, and then once you cut that away, then you want to
Fold it down.
fold it together and stitch across, and you'll have a box quarter.
Perfect.
And you do it to the other side as well. So,
And the box corner means, let's grab this one right here so we can show everybody. So this is a boxed corner, and it means then too that when you set the bag down, it can like stand up.
yeah. You can also use batting in there. So you can use Quilter Stream Poly Request is what we normally use with Cuddle. It would be a droopier bag, and that's fine. Maybe that's what you want.
Yeah.
But
And maybe it's what you have on hand. I mean, you just want to do this one afternoon and you use what you got on hand. That works too.
because you got to have it.
Yeah,
Got to have it
exactly.
done right now. So this one, if I am going to box so say when I have it quilted out, I want to make sure I save some down below so that I have room to box a corner.
Okay.
So that's very important. So I have extra room at the bottom.
Okay.
And just for simplicity, I cut both sides and the top to 1 inch.
Okay.
And then 3 or 5, whatever whatever you want to.
The width of the bottom of the bag.
Yes. And you just want to have extra down here.
Yeah.
If you trim it away later, that's fine. But
exactly.
you just want to save enough room for boxing the corners.
So the bottom of the bag doesn't have part of the design folded underneath it, saving that extra little bit.
Right.
Because
you know that you got to see the numbers.
Yes, exactly.
Field, right?
See that whole design that you got and you took the time to quilt it out. You want to have that whole design there. Love it.
So if we were going to make it as a table runner, you just cut it out wherever you want it on the field.
Okay.
And so this one I cut out an inch as well.
Okay.
And then we take the batting or the binding. We cut it 1 3/4.
Okay. And this is which cuddle is this one? This one's a little bit more nap there.
This is Lueck Cuddle Hide.
Okay.
And so what you want to do is you want to sew it to the back with a 1/2 inch seam.
Okay.
Sew around, do the corners, go all the way around, and then come and match it up and finish. Finish your seam there. So once you get that all done, what you're going to do is fold it over to the front. And you're going to do a nice little zigzag down the edge. So you want to make sure that you're on the brown. And, you know, you can use brown thread.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily see.
Yeah.
Because the lines are drawn on white on a field, right?
Exactly.
So I actually use white thread. Can you tell?
You can see it. No.
So you can't tell.
I love that,
So, you know.
Yeah.
So go around and stitch your binding down. How easy is that?
And done. I know. Well, and I love using this Lueck for a binding because you don't have to turn anything under. You don't have to do all of the fold in half and press, all of that kind of stuff. And stitching it down with a zigzag, it is so forgiving. And it just
so forgiving.
Stitching disappears, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that edge.
When I do the stitching, I usually increase the stitch length while I'm doing straight stitch. I also do that with the zigzag.
Okay.
So I use a 5mm width and a 5mm length.
Okay.
Works out perfect.
5mm length. And you use the walking foot to do that too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Always a walking foot with cuddle.
It makes it so much easier to use. So what a fun project. And I feel like we had the fun project with the bags, showing how to like scrap buster, make a bunch of gifts at once. I was even thinking like how fun to make a bunch of those and have them on hand for like kids' birthday parties or pick-me-ups or, you know, just fun little prizes like that. And then this is so fun for that sports enthusiast, especially a football enthusiast in your life, being able to make something for them that is so football themed. I think it's so much fun. It is so much fun.
They won't receive anything like it.
Nope. This is absolutely something very special. I was even thinking how cool this would be to take and even use this design and quilt it on a quilt, like a big quilt, and have it just like repeated all the way down it. It would be so much fun.
And
so
you
what a
can
fun design.
Use the end zone with small lettering.
Oh yeah.
And write something in.
Oh yeah, you could totally. So because you're using your Pro Stitcher with us, you could absolutely use Designer. Go in and use the feature in Designer using your true type fonts, and you could put somebody's name in there. You could put like their favorite college or pro team in there. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That's really fun. You can personalize it. Yeah. That is really fun. That is really fun. This is such a fun project. Well, I think you definitely knocked it out of the park today with creativity. I highly doubt that any of you were thinking, oh, we're going to see how to make bags and football stuff.
Yeah.
Today.
Cuddle and your long arm is meant to make other things other than quilts.
Absolutely. It really, really is. So tell us once again where people can find great patterns for cuddle fabric.
Shannon has if you go to ShannonFabrics.com, we have on the top of our tabs is a learning center. Okay. And you can find great patterns on the learning center. There's tips and tricks. And just a wealth of information. There's videos. There's everything you need. Yeah. And the website has the store locator, so you can find where to buy the fabric.
I was just going to ask you, so where can we buy the fabric? Yeah. The store locator, I love that because, you can be sure to support your local retailer. If they don't carry cuddle, tell them, ask them to carry it.
Yes.
I didn't say a lot of quilt shops out there carry it, though, because they know quilters love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You should always quilt with cuddle.
I totally agree. I love it. I love it. And I know you mentioned earlier that you have a Facebook group that is a really great place for people to join.
So I
Tell us
Love
about
Cuddle
that.
Fabric is a Facebook group.
Okay.
And it's a great group of individuals. I've not seen any negative. It's all positive. If you have a question about which fabric, what project to use, just matching, what do I do for this seam? There's a lot of helpful information on there. There's all of us ambassadors. There's 25 plus ambassadors, and we're happy to help out. So
I love that.
you always have a helping hand.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This was so much fun. Yeah, so much fun to have you come out. I just love it's like a chance to quilt with one of my quilting friends and quilt with one of my favorite quilting fabrics. So be sure to give us a like and subscribe and have fun quilting.